in my curatorial practice in recent years, I have made two large-scale international exhibitions, Waves in 2006 and Fields in 2014. And both exhibitions were about making an exhibition as an artistic research process. And both exhibitions also had a kind of aim of trying to create foundations for a socially engaged media art practice. Especially with the Fields exhibition in 2014, what we tried was to find artworks, artistic practices which offer a way out of the current crisis. So the idea was really to have an art that sort of directly tries to be socially engaged, but still within the language and the methodologies of avant-garde art practices. In my teaching here, I will be teaching on two PhD programs, and as part of that, there will also be a special module which will be more practically oriented, which will be about exhibitions as sites of research. I will use my experience with the exhibitions Waves and Fields here to conduct in a kind of seminar atmosphere thinking about how curating, how the making of exhibitions can also be a research process. In a certain way it always is, but what we need to do is to create a methodology about it, also to create a kind of meta-discourse, a meta-theoretic discourse about exhibitions as sites of research. And this is one of the really important and interesting modules and courses that we will have here, which also relates to a growing interest internationally in artistic research or art as research practices, where we, I think, have a lot of competency here, also through Miško Srovaković, who pioneered such practices in the 1970s. So we can bring together an historical approach, a theoretical approach, and maybe also a meta-theoretical approach to the study of exhibitions as sites of research. I think that this orientation here of this PhD program is very innovative because it has transdisciplinarity written into its sort of basic makeup. Transdisciplinarity is of course not new, but this bringing together of art and media in several different ways through several different practices and courses, I think this really makes this program very special. Because these are actually going to the most important questions that we have today. Just studying art alone is also interesting, of course, but bringing those questions of art and media together in a social context, coming from a critical point of view and connecting this to historical discourses which did the same, to mention just a few names like Bert Brecht, Walter Benjamin, the discussions about the Marxist aesthetics in the 1970s, but then also postmodern discourses and so on and so forth, is really, I think, a very advanced program that I, to my knowledge, having lived in the United Kingdom for a long time, I don't know any other place where you can study such a program in such a depth and also historical breadth. What is also special about this program, probably a number of professors here will have a very strong theoretical orientation of their own, but what the whole structure of the program does, it does not suggest to students one particular direction, but it gives students methods and instruments for developing their own direction. And this, I think, is really the nature of this transdisciplinary structure of the courses, to not just put students into existing slots where they have to follow one program of study, but to offer them such a range of theories and approaches and different ways of thinking about art and media in today's society, that this is really an excellent way of learning how to reflect on those practices and learning how to think critically, not just about art, but also, may I say, about the history of art as human history.